Okay, so hello, welcome to another episode of After Effects. We're going to start this one by talking about scaling. So scaling is pretty cool. If you press S, we can see the scale menu. And what you can do is you can scale, and you can see there's that little chain link. And you can see if I go up into negative values, we're going to go upside down. Now, what if we want to set this back to default, what it started as? We can just double click here. That will set it to default. What if we wanted to make it so this is a 720p video, but the composition size is 1080. So that's also fairly simple. Just press Control Alt and F, and that will set it to the correct size there. So you can also press this button here, and then that's going to let you scale in the X and Y independently. If we then press Alt and then we press the chain button here, you can see it's going to constrain the proportions back to what it was before, and we can reset. You can see you can also move it around in the composition panel. If I press Shift though, you'll notice now it's constrained. So I can also move it around here, and you'll notice that I've got the constrain lock off. Now I'm going to press the Shift button, and you'll see it actually constrained to that exact size. And then I keep Shift held, and then I let go of the mouse button, and that will let it constrain to that particular size. There's also a couple of other options. If we use the numpad and we press Control and plus, you can see I can do it by 1% increments. You can see the delta value here is 1%. So I can press Control minus. So you can see if I hold down the minus key, it won't render it quite immediately. We also can do Control Shift, and then again using numpad keys, it's going to do 10% increments instead. Okay, so now I want to look at this particular shape, and I wanted to talk about seamless animation. So to really illustrate an animation, probably need to do a rotation. You can see I've got scale already out here. If you wanted to get any other values, you see if I press P, I'll get position out, and if I press S, I'll get scale out. But if you wanted to have both out at the same time, you need to add in the Shift key. So if I press Shift and P, I'm also going to get Shift position, and I can do Shift P again, and that will remove it but leave the scale. Now let's try the R, which is going to be rotation. So there's different ways that you could potentially rotate this. So if I hold down the W key, you'll notice that here the rotation is selected. I could then do a rotation, and then when I let go, it will revert back to the selection tool. If I wanted to rotate the shape, I could also do Shift and plus. So that's going to do it in 10 increments. So we're going to change this composition to 2 seconds, and I want it to go through a full rotation. So if we go to 1 second, so I want it. Okay, so we'll have here we're going to do on that, and then at 1, as you might imagine, we'll just put in the number here to 180, right? So the issue with the seamless stuff, it comes here, right? If I put this back to 0, there is a problem, right? And that problem is right here, it's stopping at basically 1 second, 29 frames. And so when it loops, there's actually going to be 2 frames that are the same. So that is a problem in all animation. So what you need to do is press end. So if I was somewhere here, I could press end, and I'd go to the final frame. But what I could do is, because it's actually 2 seconds long, if I then press page down, you see I'm actually able to get to another. It doesn't show in the comp view anymore. So, but you see I can still put a keyframe in there. So if I then just put this one as 0, and I just remove this one, so you can see this frame is outside the range. So it's not actually going to play, but it knows that this point is 6. So when it loops, it's going to work perfectly, right? Because you can see it's going through 6 increments of 6 each time. So it's going to do 6 on the final frame, and then the first frame of the loop will be 0. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that it just looks smoother. I think if you slowed down the video of what I just showed, you probably would be able to see the difference. But that gives you a much smoother animation, and seamless animation even. And that is, I think, probably where we're going to end it. But that's a very useful thing to do that, actually. So thanks for watching.